Okay, I've been assigned a new breakout room. All right, still technology-wise. All right. Okay, my video is on. All right. Okay. Now, so what we're going to talk about here is about center. So I could break it down to just about every situation that you guys need in as far as training a center. Um, but I look at a center as something called beyond center. And by the way, I don't have a problem with you guys all having your video on. I actually kind of like that. Like I said, I have no problem with that. I'm the coach. I'm a coach guy. So, um, center, I think, is sometimes is not being taken care of it, and I have a problem with that. I mean, if you look at it, there's a pitching coach, there's a free throw coach in basketball, there's a quarterback coach, in water polo, and I understand that we all coaches, and sometimes we're the only ones that are able to work, but it doesn't mean that I cannot, develop some kind of a technology or some kind of a work, and I can help you with that. I mean, I can do it by myself, and I can do it by myself. I can set up specific work for my goalie, specific work for my, center. I can do that. And even if I don't have, let's say, oh, coach, they can't pay for another coach. Guys, I can train a parent to help me out, because as long as I give them a video and something to look at, and as long as I give them a whiteboard and something to look at, it doesn't matter. Okay, we need to diversify. We cannot get caught. Is this kind of thinking when we're coaches? We have to break out there. And to me, that's very important. So the center position has gone through a lot of changes in the last few years, right? I mean, we went from the big centers of the past, the Zivos, the Mishvreniatsis, guys who are just big guys and just would sit there in the center, they had all the work. They couldn't even foul the guys because 3 fouls you were excluded. And then we went on to the centers of the 80s and the 90s, where they're starting to be a lot more kind of like black hole centers, because there's so many exclusions being called. So a lot of times in the 90s and early 2000, the centers always went for the score. Centers never passed the ball anymore. The ball would go into center, might as well go to defense, because he is not going to, pass. Not necessarily because it's the center's fault. It's because a lot of people, because of the rules, because of the offensive fouls being called, people stopped driving. So people didn't drive as much as they did in the past. So those skills of guys like Pasqualin, Milanovic, Schroeder, they were able to boom, backhand pass, no look pass one way with both hands. Those kind of skills were lost, guys. But they shouldn't. That is what makes a total center. So I call it beyond center, right? I mean, I was a center myself, so I get really fired up when I think about centers, So with the new change of rules, they moved the 6 meter out. When they moved the 5 meter in, I mean, the center kind of became just an exclusion guy. Because the moment he got in position, everybody came back in the zone. And somebody would just, they would do either the backpack, or the hanger on the center, and it basically was exclusion time. Okay. Now the 5 meters gone, so it's 6 meters. There's more space. So now teams, not only because of space, but because of the new rules, how it's being interpreted, there's more driving. There's more going on. So the center, all of a sudden, you notice a lot of the centers, particularly like the new ones, the Italian center, the Greek center, the Spanish center, even in many ways, the new, Serbian centers, they're starting to move a little bit more. They're starting to make that no-look pass. They're starting to kind of come back to that little bit of that 90s center. The 80s and 70s center. But that's good because, they're making like a total aspect of it. So how do we devise a perfect workout? How do we devise a workout? And I have a couple of ones that are shared that I'm going to share with you videos here. And again, as I said before, I don't believe in secrets. Whatever I have, I'll share with you guys. All right, I'm not one of these guys alone. That's mine. No, you want my workout? I'll send it to you. All right, you want my, go ahead. You keep it, because the more of you guys become, more knowledgeable, more people to talk to. I mean, you can sit down, guys. What a great chat to sit there talking with a coach about a workout. One of the greatest days of my life was when I was in Europe about 20 years ago, and I'm sitting there with 3 or 4 of the greatest coaches in the world. Rudic was there, and Asic was there, and Campagna was there, and we're sitting over there just talking. We're having a pizza and just talking. And then we'll sit there and all talk with each other. How would you defend that? Well, I don't know. I would do it this way. What about you? I did it that way. Well, guys, we can do that. That's one of the things that these Zooms and these new things, we don't have to travel to Europe to do this. We can talk, and we can have this conversation, all right? So I put a couple questions together here that I'm going to say. So let's say, you know, why, what I say, much like any sport, certain positions need specialty coaching. Uh, let's just analyze the game, and let's some things that we're going to be questioned. Okay, let's question a couple things. First one, type of play by the center. Should be swimming different. So let's say a guy like Tony or Maggie, they probably play 27 out of 32 minutes. The center might play 16 or 17 minutes. Should be swimming the same as the other guys. So should the center be swimming the same as the field player, or should be the center swim a little bit different? I'm not saying less, I'm saying different. So maybe their swimming is not a 200, maybe the swimming is a 125, where the first 25 is, let's say, a Russian breaststroke, followed by Romanian fly, followed by a sprinter 50, followed by a Versa 4. So that way they're basically going 5 different skills as they're swimming at 125, because that's what centers do. They are being massacred in the hole. They're being jumped up and down. They have to start usually from the bottom as they're all being kind of pushed and stuff. So they have to learn how to come out of the breakaway. They have to come up, how you break away. Most people don't know how. They don't know how to teach it. So they have the center fight the defender. He wastes about 50% of his, you know, his strength or his stamina just fighting the defender to take off on a counter. Where if he just go to soft legs, that's what I teach. When the moment that the defender starts fighting you so he can push off you and go to the counter attack, I go to soft legs. What I mean, soft legs means I just dummy up. I just become like a blob. Guess what? You can't push a blob. You can't. So once it starts to push you and you're soft, as he pushes, he goes with it. He falls on you. And then you can just kind of like, okay, now I'm going to take this huge vertical breaststroke kick. And I'm going to go to the right, to the left, under, whatever you want to go, because I just went soft legs. All of a sudden, those guys that the coach is so hard, the defender holds us, and we fight to try to go back on the counter. Why would I want to fight to go back on the counter? Let this guy push a blob. He gets a blob. And then I'll get a line and I'll start swimming back. So these little things, they have to be taught. So these little things should be taught in their swimming, because that's how they swim. Then they start swimming, and what usually happens? As the center's swimming back, that defender starts cutting in front of them all the time. And he constantly changing directions. Constantly he has to change hip directions. Is he swimming that? Because drivers don't have to do that. Most of the time, drivers are either on a breakaway, or if they get touched, they get excluded. The centers are different. As the centers get to the offense, what do they got to do? They usually got to sprint real hard the last 6 to 7 meters to try to get to a wing so he can rest a little bit more, right? Most of the great big centers that like to go play in the wing, particularly on the left-hander side, because there's not as much driving on that side, and he can sit there and go, maybe take about 5 to 10 seconds rest. Their rest is different than the other guy's rest, because they don't play usually more than about 3 to 3.5 minutes. So that means their recovery, it's a little longer versus a driver that a lot of times they have to play 4.5, 5.5, 6 minutes and have to go for 30 to 45 seconds. Boom, he's right back in the water. The center might have 2 minutes or 3 minutes, okay? So your preparation is different. Style of play. Most of the players in the pool, not the center, they play horizontal to vertical 80% of the time. What about a center? Most of his play is vertical. Most of the play of a center, he swims on a counter attack to get to the offense, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, whatever it is. And during the 30 seconds of offense, what is he doing? He's on a vertical. So how much are you working spider legs, vertical scissors, donkey kicks, you know, vertical breasts, egg beater? All these things have to be worked because that's where he spends his life, is on a vertical. But a lot of times we coach the center at the same time as we coach the driver. They do the same drill, but they shouldn't. Why would I have my center be outside shooting the ball? You should be in front of the cage. You should be sitting over there, how to rebound, how to screen, how to move right to left to right, step, slide. I have a series that goes 4. There are 16 exercises in each one of them. It's called posture drills, slam drills, slide drills, and skill drills. Okay, these are 16 of them, and all of them. So altogether, we have 64 drills. Okay, and my centers will go through all of these, and I divide it into 21-day workouts where I usually cover first the posture, then the slam, and I'm going to be showing a couple of you in a second here. Okay, actually, why don't I just do it right now? Let me just share with you guys right now, and you can take a look what I'm talking about. Here, let's bring it in here, right there. Here we go. Can you guys all see that? Can you see it? Yep. Okay. So this is a typical drill. I had Tony do it for me on this thing, so I wanted to show you guys. This is one of ones that we use. And Tony said, "My goodness, Dad, I'm glad I'm not a center. I'm dead." So by putting an impact ball that weighs 1 kilo over your right shoulder, your shooting shoulder, you're now not only extending, maintaining your posture, but you're kicking up. And as you're kicking up, you're basically working your whole shoulder cage area. Look at the guy working. Look as he's working. He's coming back. We're putting Tony in there. Not only he's being with the extent, this is a special band, so trust me, it's not an easy one to keep it out there. It's really going to hold them out. The reason we have the yellow ball underneath the armpit, underneath the chin, we'll go back to what we talked about. The reason I do all my workout with centers with posture, so I always put in a ball underneath their chin. The reason for that is threefold. Okay, the first one is by having the ball underneath my chin, I'm not going to do headbutts. I'm never going to call for an offensive foul. Simple. If I do all my work with here, I'm always in this position. Second, if you do it yourself right now, just putting your hand underneath this, the moment you do this yourself, you'll notice that your shoulders will curl. That means I'm ready to work. Like, you know, by having it here, it's almost like you're ready to jump on something. So my shoulders are curled forward, so that means I'm going forward to the ball a lot easier than this attitude when you're almost like giving up with your hands back here. Okay? So again, mental. I train mental, you will be mental in the game, right? So I want to be ball underneath the chin. I'm moving forward. I'm here. That's the second part. Okay, the third part, the same thing. If you move your head back, it really works these muscles back here, your cervical, your trap. So all of a sudden, your back is getting really strong. And remember, you need to have extremely strong backs as you're a center today, because most of the work is going to be quick. Most of the work is going to be very, very quick in center today. You don't have the time that you had the stuff in the past that the setters sit there like, you know, doing all this stuff. The ball comes in, the drops, the zones are so much faster. If you don't get that ball out of your hand in about a second to a second and a quarter at the most, the guy's going to come in and steal it. So you better be able to expose towards the ball. It comes to my next point. PQ. Remember those two things. PQ, power and quickness. Okay. Too many times, you know, the guys say, yeah, he's very fast, you know, he's very strong, you know, he's just strong, I don't know, he's fast. What does that do? Okay, I'm sorry, but what does that do? That means I would take a lineman from football and put him in a center. He's very strong. He's very strong. Yeah. Well, okay. What does that mean? Right? Well, he's very fast. I'm going to take this guy. The fastest swimmer out there is a big guy. You know, I'm going to put him in there. He's fast and he's strong. What does that mean? A center needs to be powerful, quick. That's what a center has to be, because he has power. Every move he makes is 100% move. So when you're training your center, there is no quantity. There is no just hay in the barn, guys. It's short drills, 20 seconds, 30 seconds at 100%. And give them that 15-second rest, give them that 20-second rest, and 100%. I see it a lot of times when I see guys doing workout for centers, and they're kind of sitting there holding the heavy ball, you know, they're holding the heavy ball for like 3 minutes. That's really realistic. When does that ever happen? Because the center, first of all, never holds the ball, never hands a hand above the water. So why would I have my center with my hands here? So I'm going to put the ball here, where he's basically, you know, he is moving with his shoulders, or I'm going to hold the ball up here in front, where basically I'm going towards the ball, right? But if I'm going to do this, I'm doing all kinds of different things. These are constant, and these require power. And then the next thing is quickness. Too many times we just have the center just be slow. Centers shouldn't be slow. Actually, the good thing about the new centers right now, man, take a look at some of these videos. Are you kidding me? There's some amazing quickness in some of these guys. Amazing quicknesses. All right. And then the mental part of a center. Let's think, because this is very important. A center is a warrior. Okay. A center is a warrior. So as a warrior, the center needs to have that presence. He's not a soldier. He's not, he doesn't have that. Remember, watch every game and everybody's looking at the center. All the defenses are based on shutting down the center. So if you're a center, you have to be a warrior mentally, not just physically, but mentally. A warrior, the difference between a warrior and a soldier. Soldier does what he's told to do. Warrior does what needs to be done. This is a very important thing to get in their heads. And so when you are a center, if it needs to be done means I need to swim out and have a second center come in, okay, that's good. If it needs me to just hold position here and not get called for an offensive because the team is running a pretty strong drop and we're going to get the outside shot, okay, that's mental. That's the mental part of being a great center. The great center understands what the offense and what the defense are doing. And we see a lot of times, like some of the great centers, like Hagen Stamp, right? Chamakizi. Guess what these guys are now? They're top coaches internationally. They coach Germany, they coach, Georgia. Because a lot of times the center really knows the game. Terry Schroeder is a center. He was our Olympic coach. They got a silver medal. I mean, a lot of times what you're going to see is that I see a lot of goalies and centers becoming head coaches. And there's a reason for that, because a lot of times we're the most mental of these guys. We're the ones that really have to understand what's going on, and that's really important. And then finally, let's go down to, what we're talking about here. Finally, a great center of past and present have few things in common. Okay, so again, if you look at what does the great centers have in common, because I see that all the time, and I'm talking about, Chacon, the center the center from Spain. Of course, we have great centers ourselves. U.S. actually has a plethora of, Fisher is amazing when she's at center. We have centers of Goro Budova from Russia is really doing a great job, particularly now that she has Katarina Prokoyeva and the other outside shooters that are coming up out of that program. Markoch is a great coach, and he's doing a great job there. So Russia is becoming a very tough team outside of U.S. That is clearly the best team. You got to look at Russia, Spain, and Italy are probably the next three, and Hungary just coming from a little bit from behind. But again, how are these centers being taken? There was one thing that they all have in common. All these teams, they're doing very, very well. There's one thing that all of them, and on the guy side the same way. The teams are really doing well right now. Hungary, it's doing well. I mean, just had a nice win over the European Championship. Spain, finals of Worlds, finals of European Championships, pretty good. Italy, won World Championships, didn't have a great European Championship. But these teams are doing well. You know the one thing that all their centers have in common? They're active. They're all active centers. There is no more of that blob putting in the center there. No. They have active centers. All of them can actually come in at center from any position, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They both can play post to post. A lot of centers think because their name is center, they're in the center of the goal. That's not true. A center should be able to go post to post. That means he got to be able to play both on a 45-degree angle, but also on the 180-degree. So he's not just facing the offense. He's actually able to actually go quarter to be able to be a great passer, be able to be the dry pass that is becoming so prominent. Okay, let's take a look at another video. Let's share over here the screen. Let's see. I think I put this one. Was it here or here? I can't remember. I think this one here. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. Where did I go? That's the one with Tony. That's not the one. That's not the one. Whoa! You know what's going on here. Hold on. Let me unshare. And I think it's over here someplace. Let me see if it's this the one. Gosh, these things kill me. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me go back to that again. Okay, hold on. Back. Stop share Windows. Go. Darn it. Okay. Well, sorry guys. I'm still learning. But hey, I got to do it in a different way. I know how to do it now. Let's see if I go to this one right here. I think I should be able to find it. If I can just get this thing out of here. Slide in a slide. No, that's okay. Forget it. All right, I can send it to you guys. But, you know, the second drill I wanted to send you guys was it's a drill that basically works in more when you're working on the posture of the player. Then that's the first one I want to be able to work on. Okay, so you're working on the posture of the player. So you put on the ball underneath his armpit, you know, so you curl your shoulders. He brings it back. You're going to go to a series. I'm going to give you 4 series really quick. You know, I had it on video, but you know what? It's, you know, I'm a dinosaur. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so you put the ball right here underneath your chin. You're going to do 4 things for me. The first one, you're going to have him go backwards with the ball in here, extension, and the hands are just this motion. This motion, he's going to take this, he's going to take the band as far as he can do. He's going to hold the ball here, and he's just going backwards. He's going backwards. He's going backwards, okay? Now, for 2 reasons. Number 1, going backwards with the egg beater. He's egg beating, but he's also making that. And this, I have him be tight. So tight. I want to work this whole cage area. So I want their arms to be tough. I want their chest to be tough. And I want their lats to be involved. So I'm pushing it back all the way. I'm holding it for 30 seconds, and I'm going to have him do that 6 times with 20 seconds rest. He finishes that. You go right back into the second one. The second one now, instead of the 2 hands together, you are now going hand by hand, okay? But you're going to switch the legs to vertical breast. So you're going vertical breast, but you're pushing this way. Again, you need to work, and I learned that from linebacking school. You know, I actually look at all sports to try to get ideas, and the linebackers need to be able to have this motion because a lot of times the runner turns, and they have to be able to turn their body and still develop the power. So what we're doing is, again, you're pushing it from both sides, but now with the breaststroke kick. That's number 2 on the posture drill. Okay, number 3 on the posture drill, go back to egg beater, but now your hands out of the water. So you just get their knees high as possible, and you're just basically egg beater, but you're handing back. All these are 30 seconds times 6 with 20 seconds rest, no time in between each set. And then you're going to go, the 4th one is the one that I showed you, that you're going to put a 1 kilo ball. If you have an advanced center, because people always ask me that, if you have a really strong center, you can go to a 2 kilo, a 3 kilo, or for here in the US, we can go to 3 pounds, 5 pounds, or whatever you want to go. It's up to the kid. Put it on the right shoulder, go backwards, still with the ball under your armpit, using the motion, go right back. Once you get to about a 90% stretch cord on that cord, you're going up, and you're crunching. You're working your core. You're working your lats. You're working your back. You're working your shoulder. This is 4. The series is 16, but you do 4 at a time. So you need these 4. So you're always going to do 4 drills at a time. So think about it, 30 seconds, right? There's 20 seconds. So that's about 50 seconds, right? And you do it 6 times, right? So it's about 5 minutes, all right? So it's 20 minutes of workout, 20 minutes of your workout. So what you do is you take your center for 20 minutes, you throw him over there in the corner of the pool, and you tell him what to do. And for 20 minutes, he's doing this. You say, Coach, you know, we don't have as much water time. Okay, instead of doing 6 times, do it 4. Do it 4 times. Now it drops to about 12 minutes, 13, 14 minutes. But if you don't do this every day, I mean, think about it, guys. If we don't do this every day, how do you expect your center to be good? Oh, yeah, but we swam 4,800 yards today. Well, that's great. Good. Hope you have a good relay. But what did your center do today? What did your center do today? What did you have your center do? So you take your practice and you write down 5 days. Each day, I'm going to do 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. There's my 16 series. And then on Friday, I see which one here's the weakest at. And then on Friday, I create my own. might take one from each one of these 4s and have him work a different one. Maybe he did them all well. Maybe he needs that 5th day, a little bit of rest. Maybe do a little bit of slide work, right? There's 16 slide works too, just to give an idea. Slam work, I think I'm going to be running out of time, so I'm going to do it quick. That's the posture work is the one I just said. The slam work is when you go forward And you do, again, 4 basic things. The first one is to slam, go up as high as you can and slam the ball in the water in every single position. Okay, the second one, all right, you do it without slamming. So you stop and again, tense your body, tense your body, tense your body. Third one is with one hand, you go up as hard as you can and you slam it down. Go up as hard as you can, you slam it down. And then the third one is when you do it with your left hand by moving right hand, you put a heavy ball and then slam with the left and slam with the left. Again, we're still trying to develop hands on the slam. Then you go to the slide work. Slide work is when you face the cage. Let's say you move, put a ball in your hand, you move to the right, you move to the left, you move to the right, 6 times, right, left, right, left, right, left. Go up as high as you can and hold. The next one you do with the left hand. The next one you do with backhand. The next one you do with step out. The next one you do with layout. The next one you do with sweep. The next one you do with hook shot. Okay? So each one of those things are called slide work. Okay? And then skill work is when you work specific parts of the body. So for example, put a ball in your hand, sink it, okay? And then move it back and forth. Develop finger strength, wrist strength. Okay, the next one, you do flexor work. You take everything is with a band, by the way. Everything is with a band, always push you. We always want the center to be tired when you work. Then flexor work. Okay, you take the ball as far as you can, and all you're doing is putting the ball against shoulders right above, right the same line with the ear, and just slam, just wrist with a flexor. Just wrist, like 20 times. Really get that, that flexor to get a good hard workout. Another specific one, 2 balls underwater, okay, hold it down, okay, and go up and hold, up, hold. Oh, the ball never actually comes surface. Again, you're working forearm and wrist and hand strength, okay. Then there's the ones you put 2 heavy balls, where you one heavy ball is standing completely like this. Again, you need to have, that's actually great for the people that are getting old that have those saggy arms. Actually, it's a great one. You just sit the ball and hold one of them right here, and with the other hand, you're basically working, moving thing, and then you put the ball to the other hand, and then you bake. So these are specific skills. They're slams, they're slides, they're posture. Guys, that's a workout for a center. I mean, I'm sorry, but I've always had great. I've never, in high school, college, internationally, in 4 different countries, never I had a team that did not have a center that was an All-American or was not chosen one of the best centers at the Olympic Games or Pan Am Games or whatever it is. And you know what? It's not because I know everything. It's because I dedicate my time to the center. You have to have a good center. Guys, it looks like we're going to be moving to the whole thing. Again, anything I say, anything I share, you guys are welcome to it. Okay? I don't have secrets. Contact me later on, however you want to do it. I'll make sure that this time I can get the video to you guys, and because they were definitely fun, and I, like I said, I just love sharing it. All right, as I always say, water polo rules. Here we go. My email. Okay, my email is azevedo.ricardo5@gmail.com. azevedo.ricardo5@gmail.com. All right, bud. Talk to you guys. I do a couple a week, so anytime you want. See ya.